Houston, a city accustomed to heavy rains, faced an unexpected adversary in recent weeks. Storms, far exceeding typical intensity, brought the city to its knees. Streets transformed into rivers. Homes disappeared under rising water. The deluge, relentless and unforgiving, served as a stark reminder of nature's power. This wasn't a hurricane or a tropical storm, this was a series of powerful thunderstorms, fueled by a stalled weather front and ample Gulf moisture. The sheer amount of rainfall was staggering, shattering historical records. Areas received over 20 inches of rain in a matter of days. This unexpected deluge caught many off guard, leading to widespread chaos and devastation. The impact was immediate and widespread. Homes flooded, businesses shut down, and transportation came to a standstill. Emergency services struggled to keep up with the rising waters and the escalating calls for help. The city, used to handling heavy rains, found itself overwhelmed by the sheer volume of water. This wasn't just a story of infrastructure failure, it was about human lives disrupted, families displaced, and a community grappling with the sudden shock of a natural disaster. The storms exposed the vulnerability of even a major metropolis like Houston to the unpredictable forces of nature. The city, known for its resilience, now faced a monumental task recovery and rebuilding in the wake of this unexpected deluge. The images emerging from Houston were heartbreaking. Submerged cars lined the streets, their once bright colors dulled by muddy water. Homes, havens of comfort and security, became islands surrounded by a sea of brown. The floodwaters, carrying debris and sewage, left a trail of destruction in their wake. Stories of survival and loss emerged from the chaos. Families huddled on rooftops, awaiting rescue as the water rose around them. One resident, Maria Sanchez, recounted her harrowing experience, describing the floodwaters that rushed into her home, forcing her family to seek refuge on their roof. "We lost everything," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "But we are alive, and that's what matters." The human cost of the storm was immense. Beyond the physical damage, the emotional toll was significant. The trauma of displacement, the uncertainty of the future, and the overwhelming task of rebuilding weighed heavily on the minds of those affected. The storms left an indelible mark on the city's psyche, a stark reminder of the fragility of human existence in the face of nature's fury. As the floodwaters receded, another crisis emerged: widespread power outages. Over 500,000 homes and businesses were plunged into darkness, adding another layer of misery to the already dire situation. The relentless rain and flooding had crippled the city's power grid, leaving thousands without electricity, air conditioning, or even clean water. Restoration efforts were hampered by the scale of the damage and the ongoing threat of further rainfall. Utility crews worked around the clock, battling fatigue and hazardous conditions to restore power. The wait for electricity was agonizing for many, especially the elderly and those with health conditions who relied on power for medical equipment. The lack of power had a cascading effect on other essential services. Hospitals struggled to operate on backup generators. Gas stations couldn't pump fuel, leading to long lines and shortages. Grocery stores were forced to discard perishable goods, adding to the economic losses. The power outages underscored the interconnectedness of urban infrastructure and the devastating consequences when one element fails. Despite the devastation, Houston's spirit of resilience shone through. Neighbors helped neighbors, sharing food, water, and shelter. Volunteers flocked to the city, offering their time and resources to aid in the recovery. The community, though battered and bruised, refused to be defeated. Cleanup efforts began almost immediately, with residents returning to their homes, armed with shovels, brooms, and a determination to rebuild their lives. The task was daunting, removing debris, tearing out waterlogged drywall, and salvaging what little remained. The smell of mildew and sewage hung heavy in the air, a constant reminder of the ordeal they had endured. Stories of hope and humanity emerged amidst the wreckage. Strangers became friends, united by shared experiences and a common purpose. Local businesses offered free services, donating food, clothing, and construction materials. The outpouring of support, both locally and nationally, provided a glimmer of optimism in the face of overwhelming adversity. While Houston bore the brunt of the recent storms, the entire Southeast and Gulf Coast region faced an escalating flood threat. The combination of rising sea levels, increasingly heavy rainfall events, and aging infrastructure created a perfect storm for disaster. Coastal communities from Texas to Florida were on high alert, bracing for the possibility of similar devastation. The recent events in Houston served as a stark warning, underscoring the urgent need for proactive measures to mitigate flood risks. Investing in resilient infrastructure, improving drainage systems, and implementing stricter building codes were crucial steps in safeguarding communities against future flooding events. Climate change played a significant role in exacerbating the flood threat. Warmer temperatures led to increased evaporation, resulting in more moisture in the atmosphere. This, in turn, fueled heavier rainfall events, overwhelming existing drainage systems, and increasing the likelihood of flooding. Addressing climate change was paramount in mitigating future flood risks and protecting vulnerable communities. The Houston floods served as a poignant reminder of the destructive power of nature and the importance of community resilience in the face of adversity. While the road to recovery would be long and arduous, the spirit of the city, its people, and the countless volunteers offered a beacon of hope amidst the devastation. The storms, though catastrophic, brought out the best in humanity, showcasing the power of compassion, empathy, and collective action. Neighbors helping neighbors, strangers lending a hand, and communities coming together to rebuild shattered lives. These acts of kindness and resilience provided a glimmer of light in the darkest of times. As Houston embarked on the long journey of recovery, the lessons learned from this disaster would serve as a guide for the future. The need for proactive measures to mitigate flood risks, the importance of resilient infrastructure, and the unwavering spirit of community. These were the takeaways from Houston's havoc, a testament to the enduring human spirit in the face of nature's fury.